Snowstorm came through Texas, and Ohio State Buckeyes and the Longhorns from Texas battling into the fourth quarter. We're tied. It's a 4th down and 2 run for Will Howard. He's certainly an excellent running quarterback. He gets tripped up on the way to the end zone. That's okay. Quinshon Judkins can carry the mail and carry the rock into the end zone. Texas looks like they're going to answer. This really feels like one of the plays of the game as the toss to Quintravion Wisner is blown up in the backfield, and then on 4th and goal, Sark and Texas has no choice. They got to go for it. Jack Sawyer, this guy's going to be a Buckeye legend forever for who he's been since he's been there, and now you get a remarkable moment to punctuate a strip sack, scoop, and score. You hit the grand slam on one play. Here comes Big 33. Ball's out. It bounces right back to him. Ryan Day pointing. He knows where to go, Coach. So do you. Coach scooting towards the end zone and crown him. Will Howard, you've seen the passion since he transferred in out of the portal. He did his part. The defense does its as well. And Ohio State able to turn away Texas, who appeared to be on the verge of equalizing in the last 2.5 minutes. Instead, the Buckeyes win it by 14. It will be the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish who will play for the national championship in Atlanta a couple of Mondays from now. Ohio State moving on. That's January. Greetings. Welcome back to our studios here in the nation's capital. I'm Scott Van Pelt. This is SportsCenter. National title game set. Ohio State Buckeyes, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Can't ask for a whole lot more in terms of the tradition of the past and the programs of the present. Coverage on the way, including live press conferences, all-access trip inside that Buckeye locker room and a championship preview. But first, we head back to Arlington to continue the Ram Trucks postgame and a visit with Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit, who join us live. And fellas, you know how much I look forward to these visits, these moments. They're fresh in the air right after moments of high achievement. And you guys know what a recruiting nerd I am. I always have paid attention, Herbie, to the five-star guys. Where are they going to go? And you go back to when Jack Sawyer came out and he looked like a Boy Scout, looked like a little kid, right? And he dreamed of wearing this uniform. And Chris, for him to be the guy with the ball in his hands, making that play, it feels poetic, and then it feels impossible given the guy that he sacks. How would you frame it all?
That's the beauty of the sport. Sometimes you watch these things unfold and you go, wait a second. Live sports is unscripted. That's the beauty of it. But it almost seems like someone's conjuring these plot lines up, layering the drama on, as you put it very well. There were so many individual stars, so many plot lines coming in, but it did come down to that goal line stand, and Sawyer making the 4th of a 4-play sequence that really preserved this victory. And yeah, it was one of the more memorable calls I've ever had. An 83-yard scoop and score to secure a playoff win. Doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, it's been really remarkable to watch this team from when they walked off the field in Columbus in another heartbreaking moment against Michigan to their players-only meeting with Ryan Day, where it got incredibly personal and almost therapeutic. To just say, I told you, I went to senior tackle 3 days later and saw a lot of emotion and saw this team say, we're putting this behind us and we're going to go do something special for 4 more games. And they've done it with 3. This team's on a mission, and I think it started when they walked off that field. And I think Ryan Day just said it, like we got tested this time. The first 2 were first-round knockouts. This is a test, a fourth-quarter test. And how fitting is it that Jack Sawyer, the guy that tried to rip the Michigan players down from that flag, it's him who grew up at Pickerington right there in Columbus, came up and made the play. Like you said, you can't script this. And pretty special, man. As a former Buckeye, it's pretty special because of what this team's been through. It's cool.
Yeah, and that's
about the first.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott. No, all the splash plays of Jeremiah Smith, all the focus was on the fabulous 19-year-old. He was so factored tonight. This was a complete team performance by the offense, and obviously that stand at the end by the defense.
And I just was going to ask you to expound upon it, Herbie, as we hear, I believe it's Carmen, Ohio, I believe I hear behind. I don't know if you're supposed to pause and sing or what, but you're a guy that grew up there. You wore the uniform. You know what it is. And this guy, he couldn't be a more perfect representation of the passion of Ohio State. And it was him. He was wanting to fight Michigan after what happened. But the best kind of fights you can show is what they've shown since then, and now they've got the opportunity. Ryan Day said after that first win, we got a lot more football left. They do. They got 60 more minutes to be national champions. Are you surprised that they've been able to do this after what happened that day against Michigan?
Only because we called their next game against Tennessee. I mentioned on a personal level, I went to the senior tackle for my son, Zach, and I saw stuff that looked not like they were feeling sorry for themselves and the season was over, but more defiant, more. They got 9 guys on defense. Everybody thinks they bought their roster. They got 9 guys on defense. All these guys, a lot of them played against Georgia in 22 with C.J. Stroud. I mean, these are veteran guys that have put their heart and soul on the line for this team and won some great games, lost some tough games. And I think they all looked at each other as a veteran bunch, which is rare anymore in college football, and said, guys, we're not done yet together. We got a run that we can put together. Let's not let that be the lasting memory. So the fact that we got a chance to be around that before they played Tennessee, when that stadium was 40,000, 30,000, whatever it was, Tennessee fans, that only motivated them more. And just to witness it, I guess I wasn't surprised. How dominating they were against Tennessee and Oregon, that was surprising. But the fact that they're headed to the national championship, after what we witnessed before the Tennessee game, I'm not surprised at all.
They're going to collide, Scott, with another team that talks about resilience and toughness. Those are the mantras that Marcus Freeman talks about, and they took their devastating loss early. We saw them beat A&M on the road in the opener. They lose to Northern Illinois. Irish fans were shocked and irate. They bounced back. They showed a lot of grit, and both these teams have had to come through and do it the hard way, win 4 playoff games. Irish has certainly been battle tested too. They'll be significant underdogs to this Ohio State team in Atlanta. I don't think they care about that.
No, and Scott, real quick, I know you got Dusty there, and I love to see him there with you. I mentioned that to you earlier today. Just a little bit of XO. I think it was great to see Chip Kelly, after all the hype of Jeremiah Smith, Texas decided to take him out. They rolled coverage to him, put a safety over the top. They had to be patient. They had to run the ball. They had to find other receivers. Carnell Tate came out of nowhere and led them in receiving. You had, Trevion Henderson make a play. They had to be patient. It was a totally different style of approach offensively than those first-round knockouts where it was just big play after big play, bombs away. So I think that's a tip of the cap for what they had to do on that side of the ball. And then Jim Knowles and that Ohio State defense just continues to just make big play after big play, not just tonight with the strip sack and the touchdown, but just how fundamentally sound, how aggressive, how downhill, how hard-hitting they were. It's like kind of like Notre Dame. It's a fun defense to watch, and I know Dusty can appreciate that as much as he loves defense. Those two defenses fly around and hit people.
2 pretty good semifinals, Scott.
Yeah.
I mean,
without
we're picking
question.
up momentum this playoff.
And if you'll indulge me with just one last X and O, because I'm going to get to Dusty on it in a minute. I'm just curious your thought. Texas is going to answer. They're on the 1. That toss on second down. Look, I'm hardly an OC, and I'm not pretending to be one. But that play gets blown up. You lose 7 yards, and I just wonder what your reaction in real time was to that particular play call.
My reaction, I think Chris and I were kind of getting ahead of how good Ohio State is in the red area, how dominant they've been. The Penn State game stands up in all of our minds, that goal line stand to preserve a victory. As good as Texas is, it's tough to do. I'm not going to ever second guess any coach, especially a guy like Sark who works so hard at that. But I thought you might see the wrinkle of Arch come in that situation with his ability to run, maybe a zone read, maybe get him on the edge. Again, I'm not going to second guess it, but that wide sweep with the Ohio State defense as fast-flowing as they are led by Caleb Downs, that was a tough one to go to. They tried to catch him napping, and they didn't get it.
Hindsight's easy, but when you lose 7 yards in a play, it became a long shot for them to get in the end zone. The next pass deflected the line, and then Ewers, I guess he just never saw his old roommate coming at him there because it was right in his face, and he didn't react.
And you know who deflected that third down pass was Jack Sawyer.
Right.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer deflects the third down play and then makes the sack. in the touchdown on the 4th down play.
All right, you guys have been kind, and I know you got places to go and people to see, and we've all been doing this a long time. I don't want to make you nervous, but Ohio State, Notre Dame, fellas, I think a lot of people might watch in a couple of Mondays. I look forward to consuming what you guys put out. It'll be fantastic. Nobody better to do it.
We'll watch it.
Man.
We'll be there watching.
I can't wait. Scotty, you got to come to Atlanta, man. Do your show live down there. I say we talk to Mike McQuaid and get that done.
From your lips to God's ears. Boys, be well, travel safe. Great call tonight. Look forward to watching Monday. All right, that's Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit.
So pleased to have you along. This should be a good one. We're set, and off we go here on EA Sports. On the return, here comes Cordero Patterson. And they'll bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Now a first carry for the Alabama product, Najee Harris. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. On 1st down, right back to Harris. And he'll get forward for a couple. It's 2nd down. They'll give it to Harris again. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. Another run here with Harris. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. They're going to run out of the gun, and here's Harris. He'll pop this ahead for about 4, but it will set up 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Russ. That is caught! And he will get into the end zone. Calvin Austin. Touchdown, Steelers. Chris Boswell on for the point after. It's up and good. And the Steelers will take a 7-0 lead. Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. This kick is fielded in the end zone, but no move to bring it out. It's touchback, and that ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Right to the air goes Daniels. They try to set up the screen, but this one doomed from the start. It's incomplete. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, it's Daniels. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Luke McCaffrey, the intended receiver. Now it's going to be 3rd down. From the shotgun on 3rd down, Daniels. 15-yard pickup there. 1st down, Washington.
And this is what you can do when you have one of the best receivers in the game. You understand that even if the coverage is not perfect for the play call, sometimes it's just as simple as my guy is better than your guy, and we're going to just keep giving him a chance.
Off he goes.
Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Tried
to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. A final shot before break. Daniels slings this deep from McLaurin. And got his man complete. He's to the 15. And he's in for the touchdown.
Because it is so simple. It's something that these two have done and thrown together for years and years. Maybe not to each other, but since Pop Warner. They've been running the go route. Just run right by him, and if you're even, you're leaving, and I'm going to drop it right over the top.
Now to throw. And the conversion is no good as that pass falls incomplete.
Gonna be a little armchair quarterback after that call. Looked like the defense knew exactly what was coming.
Well, time making this all but impossible, but they're going to try for the onside kick here anyway. And this is going to be covered up by the Commanders. That should just about lock up the win. And Washington finishes the return to the end zone. Touchdown! The Commanders picked up the fumble and ran it home.
He gets it to go, and the Commanders will move out to a 14-7 lead. Seibert now following the touchdown. He's out to kick it away. And we'll see a return here from his own end zone. Not much on the return. They'll stop him at the 17. Boy, some bulk in the formation on that right side here for 1st and 10. A play fake. Now it's I fumbled the football. And the defense has it. And there it is. The defense comes up with the big...
Robinson will score. Touchdown, Commanders. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
All right, now a big two-point conversion attempt still to come. Daniels going to try and throw for it. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Oh, no, he lost the football. And he will get into the end zone, and a two-point conversion will cut this down to a 6-point game.
Here's Eckler. And he's brought down for a loss. The Commanders in the hurry-up. They're hustling for the line. To throw. That's complete. Here's Brown. And they bring him down. Looks like he got it to the 27. Here he is to throw. Someone got a piece of that downfield throw, but it is caught anyway. And that's a Washington touchdown. So there's part one, Brock. They get the touchdown that they desperately needed. Now, you'd imagine, comes a try for two.
Yeah, and this might be just as tough as to go get that touchdown they just did because, well, they work on two-point conversions, but they're difficult.